Hello everyone, this is Riku Keyblade Master, and today I got a couple of, one of them is an election piece and the other one is a legislation ruling. So let's start with I guess the first one is kind of a legislation ruling too. So we all know that Mexico, they're having a lot of trouble up there. Mexico's president is going up against somebody else, but a lot of the candidates that were running for the race were killed. So there's a lot of controversy, and they're thinking that, some people are thinking that the current president of Mexico is behind it, so he could retain power again. Now, the other candidate, we don't know too much, but we do know that he's looking to deliver on the things that he's promised. They said that the current president has actually failed in getting a lot of things passed, and he essentially has been able to make the legislature do whatever he wants. Basically bending to his will, much like how Donald Trump had everything before they seized control and realized, oh shit, we forgot we can veto, which a few things that under the Trump administration had been vetoed. Not everything has been passed, but I'm just saying it's a similar situation. We don't know who the other candidates were. They haven't exactly been identified yet. Either that or the news isn't letting us know for protection's sake or whatever. The thing is, though, is that this is like the same thing besides the assassinations of his opponents. The same thing is going around with Benjamin Netanyahu. He's about to be, there's a high chance that he might be dethroned as well. And if he does hold on, that might be by a threat. Same thing with the Mexican president right now. And basically, the only difference is Mexico is still in a lot of trouble, even though the Mexican president promised that there would be little to no trouble. There is still trouble. Now, as far as the second thing, though, like I said, in Benjamin Netanyahu's case, his enemies have not been murdered, but to narrow the race. But in Mexico's president's case, some people thought he was trying to thin out the competition, essentially get away with murder, like Donald Trump was doing with the COVID pandemic. essentially getting away with murder. Now, see, the thing is, it's just weird. And speaking of legislation power, California's courts have overturned a centuries-old law essentially banning people to have possession of handguns. The reason he said that he ruled in favor of the other side is because that is technically a constitutional amendment. However, there's a lot of gun violence going up in areas like, there's just been a lot of gun violence as of late. And someone who told us that her brother was killed at the hands of a gun-wielding maniac. Now, on one hand, I guess like I said, I am for it, but then on the other hand, I am against it, because not everyone who wields a gun is automatically a cold-blooded killer. Like, I have a couple of friends that have gun permits, and they're not cold-blooded killers. They're not going out there to do mass shootings. They mostly go out to, gun ranges and, hunting and stuff. Which, of course, I know y'all remember the old, the whole thing about there being too many of one gender deer in the population thing. They said that there's way too many, I forget if they said there's way too many does or way too many bucks. The bucks are outweighing the does. So they went and said, of course, that even though it's not hunting season, you can go out and get yourself a buck. I've never actually hunted before. Considering obviously there's a lot of walking and me being partially blind, it's hard to see what's coming at me. It's just crazy. But yeah. I mean, in that instance, a few years ago, nobody made a big stink about it then. But now, they're making a huge stink about it. Like how the thing is too, with the police killing of that handicapped guy, he was a handicapped guy who was a little slow. He was heavy set. I forget his name, but it took place, I believe it was a summer or two after they said it was okay to do a Buck massacre. I mean, honestly, I don't trust police as it is, because most of them don't even do their jobs. And when they do, they're just stopping innocent people for random ass shit. Like, this police dude shot a guy just because he had an air freshener in his car. You know. And we had our school resource officer got in trouble a year or two before I graduated for tasing a kid just because he was getting up to throw away a tissue. He said it was disruptive of the learning process. Dude, the thing is like, nobody wants to keep a tissue in their hand the whole class period. So what do you expect them to do? Just hold it for an entire class period, or set it on their desk, which will have to be cleaned off, or throw it on the floor, which will have to be cleaned anyway? What the fuck? You know, and the instance that I was just talking about with the handicapped guy in a store parking lot, that's not the first time the police went after someone who is handicapped. As I said, they obviously went after me pretty bad. And, you know, his Officer Lorenzen's partner went after me pretty bad, which was not good, because I flat out told him too. I said, look, I don't care if you're a rookie, I don't care if you're an experienced officer, it doesn't matter. You can't just abuse your power like that. I will have your badge for this. Your head if I have to. You know, I was very upset over being accused. I mean, the rookie, another part to the story is, he accused me of being an accomplice just because I knew the guy. But I knew nothing about the whole situation. I couldn't even hear it very well on the police scanner because there's always this static junk. You can't even hear it all anyway. So it's like, what was I supposed to know? What was I supposed to do? Or whatever, you know? You know, it's just ridiculous. I don't trust police at all. because of what they did, and I don't think anyone is safe because, like I said, the police up here, they don't do jack shit except for, you could be going the speed limit and the cop will still stop you and write you a fucking ticket. You could be in the right lane and go the speed limit, or at least a couple of miles below it, because you're trying to be, cautious and making sure you don't hit anything or anyone. You could be like me, extremely cautious, because you're like literally. And I actually aced my mom's test. The only point that I would have lost was an unavoidable pothole. But seeing as how she said that technically I got 100% because no one could avoid that pothole. And I actually do a hell of a lot better than over half of these people that they give licenses to. Like, I was talking to my friend yesterday, one of my friends yesterday, and like, even she gets it. She's like, I know, you're always at everybody else's mercy and you're always picked on, and I don't appreciate that. I said, me neither. I didn't appreciate it when it was happening then, and I don't appreciate it that it's happening now. I don't think I'll ever be treated fairly, or anyone who is handicapped. Literally, I don't think we'll be treated fairly. I don't think anyone's ever gonna get it. I really don't think anyone's ever gonna get it. I've tried everything. I mean, I'll still keep trying, but unless there's a new trick I haven't tried yet, I just haven't found it yet. Hell, I'll come at people with a bullhorn if I have to, for fair treatment. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section about these legislative moves by the California court judge. They think that there's a high chance that it will go straight to the Supreme Court. Their case will go straight to the Supreme Court for that. As far as the president of Mexico, it's disgusting. That is not how you handle a political contest. We don't know who has done the killings, but I'm pretty damn sure he's in on it because he wants to hold on to power. Because he and Trump got along really, really well because they had the same views on not putting people first, about putting themselves first instead of trying to, think about the little people. That's the same thing with these copyright laws, too. Instead of trying to be sympathetic and trying to understand, the concept of fair use, people just slap people just because they want to. And I don't think it's fair at all.